Wait, why are you so far away? Come closer. 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 Yep, okay, that's good. I said that's good! Okay, hi! I'm Rocky, I also go by Mineral Deposit, and I applied for Sheridan's Bachelor of Animation program for this fall, as well as Seneca's animation program, and both of my portfolios got accepted! Yay! Chad, is this real? Someone hit me real quick. Wait, not with that! I've seen a lot of portfolio videos online which I honestly used as life support during my time applying, so I'm gonna try helping people in return now. Or if you just want to see silly drawings that I lost so much sanity over, that's cool too, I vibe with that. I added timestamps to each part, so if you just want to skip my yapping and see the drawings, it's here. Disclaimer, I'm not a professional, this is just advice that helped me personally. Cool? Okay, cool, moving on. So here's my score sheet that I got for my Sheridan portfolio. I got 90 out of 100, which is a total score of 90%. Which is honestly crazy because I didn't think I would get that much for my first time applying. Figure drawing definitely cooked me alive though, but surprisingly my animation and storyboard did well, which is where I spent the least amount of time on. So I guess just because you spend a lot of time on something doesn't mean it will be good. I'm also a domestic applicant, and the cutoff last time I checked is around 85%, and for international I believe it's around 90 to 95. It's kind of crazy, and if you're thinking of applying or trying to apply, may the force be with you, and I wish you the best of luck, because sometimes cutoff is unpredictable, or maybe you're just me. Well, this is a rough start. Anyways, here's my short figures, and here's my long figures. Yeah. Anyways, I lost the most marks in this part of the portfolio, probably because, one, all of them are from similar angles, and I don't have enough variety. Fortunately, all my good drawings are from this angle, so don't be like me. 2, I could have done the proportions better, and 3, I think I definitely could have done the line weight better. There's a lot more to the list, but personally, those are what I want to improve on the most. So my first piece of advice, like everyone else who has applied, is to start as soon as possible. Going to in-person figure drawing definitely helps a lot in analyzing the 3D shapes of the figure in my opinion, and maybe if you're brave enough, you could check out other people's work and take notes of their techniques. Unfortunately, my bravery stats are kinda low, so I just observe people beside me. It still helped a bit though. My second piece of advice is to use Conte for all your figure drawings, because it is a really awesome material that works well with newsprint. And my third piece of advice, always try to focus on the bigger picture instead of focusing on small areas at a time. It's easier to catch proportion issues early on that way. So, here's my character rotation. As much as I love this character, rotating her was a pain. So, make sure you really like your character and you have all of the volumes figured out. I find that rotating the big shapes first, then working on the smaller ones is helpful. Also, make sure to create many variations of your concept. Draw your character a few times and see which variation is practical, and have a good silhouette for your character so you could use them for your final rotation. As much as I know it hurts to not keep all the cool details on your character, it's best to simplify everything down so the volumes are easier to rotate without inconsistencies. I still regret adding the wizard staff. Maybe if I had more time it would have been okay, but I was on a time crunch. For short animation, we had to use this little hard drive character. It was still a bit off model in some parts, but always remember to make it on model as possible. I don't have much other tips besides watching that certain video on the 12 principles of animation, which you can totally look up for free on YouTube. No, I'm not being sponsored to say this, but it's a really good resource. Okay, for the next section, this is my storyboards. For storyboards, I also got full marks. This time we had to use Gumball, I mean this cat character, to make a 10 to 12 story panel on the theme, when you enjoy the process, your goal becomes a milestone, not a finish line. Just like this short animation, make your character on model as possible. Draw it in a few poses as practice, and if you have trouble thinking of a good shot angle, research some movie clips. I personally used the roller coaster scene from Final Destination as a reference. And most importantly, the goal for good visual storytelling is that even without captions, you should be able to tell what's going on. I'm still figuring out what happened here. So, this is my outdoor, and this is my indoor. I think next time I would make some areas less cluttered and overall try to improve the composition itself. Some of my advice would be don't draw in one-point perspective, because I think they prefer 2 or more. Make sure to have a good focal point in your piece, and make sure the other objects help direct the eye to that point. Forgot to mention, but if anyone has cool advice as well, feel free to comment them down below. I love reading comments, and maybe you'll end up helping someone other than me. Yay! Okay, so this year I was the most stressed about this part since it's new and we had to include 15 pages of our personal sketchbook. So here's what I submitted. It's good to include a variety of things like observational sketches and exploration of characters and other things. Advice I've been hearing around is think of the CalArts sketchbook but more rough. Dude, at first I was scared as hell. I'd be looking at people making those CalArts sketchbook and I'm like, you're telling me a high schooler cooked this masterpiece? Why isn't it displayed in a museum? Kind of intimidating at first, but it's good inspiration. I got ideas for the cutout windows of my room design page from watching one of those videos. But always remember, stay true to yourself and what you like. Don't always try to copy exactly what other people are drawing just because you think your work isn't interesting. It can be, but you just need to find a way to frame it to be like, you know, interesting, I guess. I don't know if that makes sense. Remember, they don't want to see polished work, like really, really polished. They want to see who you are as an artist and what you like to draw. Okay, so here's the rest of my personals, starting off with my demo reel. And these are my graphic designs. I also made a comic. This year they made a chart of types of personal works you can submit. I don't think it was absolutely mandatory to follow, but I did just in case. My advice is probably the exact same as the sketchbook part, except you can show your polished work. Just like include your coolest stuff and whatnot. And try not to submit fan art. Yeah. Okay, now we are in my Seneca portfolio territory. We are almost at the end of the video, but I've been yapping for a bit, so if you watch through all of this, this is your friendly reminder to drink water. I know you are dehydrated. I see you through the screen. Anyways, moving on. By the way, I submitted the same figure drawings and some of my personal works for my Sheridan portfolio for my Seneca one, so I'm skipping those sections here. Okay, so for this part, we had to do 2 drawings in perspective of opposing sides of the room. One thing I learned from this is I am never drawing shelves again. It has to be drawn traditionally, so my setup was literally sticking a piece of copy paper to newsprint and drawing the vanishing points outside, which I found useful. I also taped string as a makeshift ruler of sorts, I guess, for each vanishing point. Not the best setup, but it works. I don't have much to comment besides having some objects that have different vanishing points in your piece to show that you're able to draw things like off point. Yeah. Okay, so for the hand drawings, I am still not really good with hands, so I don't think I would give the best advice at the moment. But all I can say is keep practicing proportions, draw from life, and watch different YouTube videos about it. You got this. For object drawings, it's kind of like the same with hand drawings. I'm not really good with drawing or interpreting volume in objects. So my advice is to keep practicing. Make sure you indicate the volume of the object to the best of your ability, and make sure your perspective is consistent. You can also feel free to leave your construction lines in there for a good measure. Yeah. Yay! We made it to the end! Before I really end this video, I would like to thank my family and friends, especially my parents, for all their support. And I would also like to thank my tutor Josh and everyone else at APW who has helped me improve this much with their feedback. I'll put the link to their website in the description if anyone's interested in tutoring. Of course, it's optional, but having someone experienced review your work can be super helpful. Another piece of advice I have, unrelated to drawing, is prioritize your health. Especially if you suffer from severe anxiety problems like I do. Find effective ways to keep it at bay while working on your portfolio. I just found out the hard way that mental health can directly affect physical health, and as a result, I paid a very painful price. And to this day, I'm still recovering. School is starting soon, dude. I'm so cooked. Trust me, forcing yourself to draw while feeling like a chainsaw's tearing through your abdomen is a negative 10 out of 10 experience, so I do not recommend it. Don't be like me. Take care of yourself, okay? If you have any questions for me or about the application process, drop them down below in the comments and I'll try to answer as best as I can. If you want to see more of my art or want to know what I'm up to, I'm pretty active on Instagram, and I also make comics on Webtoon if you're interested in checking it out. Shameless promotion, haha. Just remember, you got this, have fun, and trust the process even though the process does not trust you. Okay, bye!